I just think we got a good start with the retreat. I think everybody was really into it. And I tell you, that's another aha moment was that exercise where everything flipped. And instead of having that person's name, I could put my own name in each of the sentences that I didn't take the responsibility of my position as vice mayor to curb a behavior that I knew was destructive to the council.
Yeah.
And after that whole thing, I'm not upset with her like I was.
Right.
I was able to share the responsibility. And what was more important is that I learned where I could have done better,
Yeah.
where I I had the power and the ability and the position to do something and I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was
It's
that
okay.
was very enlightening.
Do you think that was the most like memorable or transformational experience from the retreat for you personally?
It may have been because it was such an aha moment, it was almost like magic.
Yeah.
You know, for my mind to be set one way and then flip. It was just at a whole different level. I think it helped me to define my leadership style. And I kind of think that during the 2 days that part of your structure and strategy, you would call on me. And later I thought about that you were, it seemed like that established me as mayor, the way that you did that. I appreciate that. But I think that it was intentional. I get it. But I
Well,
don't know if it
I'll just
was.
reflect that I did very intentionally open that door for you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you were established as mayor because you chose to walk through it in a particular way. I could have called
Yeah.
on 10 people and 9 of them might not have taken that opportunity. So it's entirely because of your actions. Were you talking about like the closeness of the bonds, the openness, and how that's going to facilitate or is already facilitating better outcomes and team dynamics? What, in your perspective, were the elements of, the container that made that possible in a way that, it sounds like you haven't had in previous retreats?
Well, the word that just keeps coming up is the authenticity of how you were with us. It's like you were there. You weren't there using a technique. You weren't there. I mean, you used techniques, but you were there. You were present, and it was authentic, and it wasn't hokey, and it wasn't about what color are you, and you know, uh, divisive stuff. And also, you are a reflective listener,
Mm.
and you speak, but then you pull it out of other people. Additionally, you took the time to get to meet with every single one of us so that when you came in there, you already had a sense of the individuals. And what a way to start to build a team.
Okay, last question, really,
All
really,
right.
which is just like, would you recommend this type of retreat to leaders in other cities? And if so, sort of on what basis? Like, why would you recommend it?
Based on my experience of the retreat and my experience of our council working together for the last 6 weeks after the retreat, I definitely would recommend this because I believe that the person centered, authentic approach that you had broke through a lot of barriers, fears, and anxieties that people had. about their new position. Am I going to fit this and that? I think taking the time to meet with each person began building that trust. So by the time we came together, you were able to talk to us as unique beings because you had a little bit of a sense of us, of each of us. And when you addressed each of us as unique beings,
Mm,
that had the impact of revealing to the others
mm,
that uniqueness.
mm,
So it began to foster and enhance a sense of the uniqueness of each and authenticity. I just felt like people got increasingly more authentic. And I think that has to do with some of your grounding in authenticity and genuineness. So there were no kind of hokey devices in this and little tricks and let's do the Myers Briggs and it was just more interpersonal, person centered, and genuine. And I think that made a big difference. And it set the tone for how we're treating each other now is authentically, genuinely, with respect. I just think that person centered, holistic, well being, grounded, authentic approach that human beings respond to that. When you leave a retreat and it's been real divisive, not divisive, but using little tricks of the trade, little personality tests and stuff. You walk out and it's like, oh, well, that was interesting.
but not always applicable.
Yeah. Are you a gold or a green? It's like, no, no, because we walked out more authentically that you're not gold, you're not green, that was the previous one that we did, which didn't stick with anybody.
Yeah.
A day later, it was done. But yet, this stuck with people and it's still being commented on.